weekly dividend ETFs are losing money. That's what I was fully prepared to talk about today in today's video, because this morning the market was in shambles. Since then, we have rebounded quite nicely. In the account, it only shows us up 0.16% today, but earlier today, we were below $1,130, which is insane. So I'm happy that it bounced back. I'm happy I don't have to make one of these sob videos where I'm bummed about how everything's been performing. We have some crazy things going on in the world right now, and it's correlating into some crazy things going on in the stock market. Some of these funds are so beaten down. I can't even believe it. And now I'm just kind of watching it trade sideways for the most part. But again, we're going to do a full breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, I invested $100 into the 11 weekly paying dividend ETFs. We have some new ones that just came out. Currently, we have 4 from YieldMax, we have 4 from RoundHill, and we have 3 from Defiance. RoundHill and YieldMax have been kicking out some new ones because there's a lot of popularity with these funds. So I want to know what you guys think about the weeklies down below in the comments. Don't forget to comment your absolute favorite weekly paying dividend ETF, because right now I have a few favorites, and then we're going to go, after we look at each one individually and check the performance, we are going to run over to our dividend tracking spreadsheet where I have all the data filled out, all compiled. It's going to show us what paid out what so far, the weekly payments, what's positive on market return versus positive just on dividends, all of that good stuff. That's really, really important. And if you want a copy of that, it's for our tier 3 channel members. You guys support me in doing these challenges. It's getting more and more expensive the more of these funds come out, but I'm still happy to do it. And this is honestly so much fun. And you guys have supported me so much throughout this process, and you have no idea how grateful I am. So with all that being said, let's roll the intro. So like I said, we'll be buying another share of XDTE to put it to 3. And after that, I'm not sure what to buy next. You guys should let me know what you think I should buy. I bought an extra share of all the RoundHill funds besides YBTC. Maybe that's the next one to buy. It will take some time to save up, but we've seen some crazy compounding. We've seen the drip working for some of these funds, and we've seen some new dividends as well. So I'm really excited about this. Again, we should be at just cash value, $1,100 even. That's all of the money that I added to the account. So this $49 positive, that is all positive from getting paid dividends as well as the total price appreciation, although the market has been a bloodbath lately. You can see everything is in the red except for one fund, and they're not just a 1% in the red. We are seeing more and more things falling farther and farther into the red as 2025 goes on. I don't think it will be forever, but the dividends are making up for it at this point. So we're going to start with our worst weekly paying dividend ETFs, which consistently underperform most of the others. Let's start out with our Defiance funds. IWMY. Absolutely destroyed, down 14.42%. Almost $15 lost. Just not good from this fund. We can see our initial cost that we bought this fund for was $34.61 per share. We bought 3 shares. Currently, they're valued at $29.62 each, leaving us at a market value of $88.86. Not much I can say about Defiance. IWMY, we didn't have that bad of a week. And I mean, in regard to price return, this thing actually bounced up quite nicely. It made new highs ever since that really bad day with the interest rate news. Since then, it did sell off a bit again. We had the dividend payout, but we're still not that low. We're still not even as low as we were from the last dividend payout. So maybe some good things coming for some of these Defiance ETFs. Now we can see the AUM 115 million and the dividend yield of 98%. We did see the yield drop quite a bit. These last couple of dividends were rough. This last one specifically, very, very rough. Now, before I go into the last 4 dividends, remember, when I talk about the dividends in the account, I'm giving you the amount I was paid per $100 invested. These, like this 30 cents, is for just 1 share. So that's how Moomoo does it. That's how most places do it. This is just dividends per share. And then when I talk about it in the spreadsheet, it's per $100 invested. So roughly 3 shares. So we can see the last couple of dividends were 30 cents and then 30 cents. And then lo and behold, 30 cents. And this last one, 10 cents. Yeah. Crazy drop. We haven't seen a dividend this low, I don't think, ever, from Defiance, or from, I should say, IWMY, since it went weekly. So this is an absolute record-shattering low. I don't know why. I don't know what is going on with these funds. Maybe it just paid out less, and that's why the price stayed more consistent, which, again, I'm not against. I want you guys to know that. Like, these Defiance funds, if they paid out a third of 100% dividends, say they pay out 30% and just trade sideways, that's 30%. I'm okay with that. What I don't like is when the NAV drops from $41 to $30 over a couple months span, and then we're stuck holding a really deep red stock while getting, yes, some dividends out, but drip, I mean, it totally negates drip if you just keep losing more and more of the NAV. So, you know, I'm curious if Defiance is making a shift. Maybe they're going for lower dividends paid out and a better price return. I don't know. Let me know if you guys know in the comments, but all in all, little bit scary. It's nice that the price didn't absolutely tank on us, but still very scary to have our dividend cut by 2/3 out of nowhere. Let me know if you guys know anything. Like I said, let's check out QQQY. So QQQY, officially not our worst returner in the account just by P&L, by our unrealized position. So we're down just under 13%. We have 3 shares at an average cost of $34.37. Currently, they are worth $29.95 each, which is, oof. That's a cut. That's a cut. We're down about $13. The difference between QQQY and IWMY is how much has been paying out. So IWMY pays out quite a bit more than QQQY. And for a long time, IWMY was the worst returner. And then I think 2 weeks ago, QQQY was the worst. And now they're kind of fighting for the worst, which is always entertaining. We can see that QQQY didn't bounce back nearly as much as IWMY. A bit disappointing, but I'm not going to beat a dead horse and say it over and over and over again. You guys know from all the prior videos what I wanted from the Defiance funds and what they've done so far. So we can see an AUM of 153 million. I'm surprised that this one's larger than IWMY. That's interesting to me. And a dividend yield of 80.5%. So strong dividend yield. It's just losing too much NAV for me. When we go into the last 4 dividend payments, we can see 31 cents, 30 cents, 22, almost 23 cents, and now 7.5 cents. So this one too, there must be something going on with the Defiance funds. There has to be. I should have done more research. I should have looked it up before I started filming, but I want you guys to tell me honestly, because you guys usually know more about what's going on with some of these funds than I do, because these are not deep dives. It's just I own them and I watch what happens. But still, like a 7.5 cent dividend compared to 20 and 30 prior, the last couple, is insane. Now, the problem is that this one didn't bounce back as high as IWMY, so you still don't have a very good NAV return, and you're getting paid out significantly less than you were before. I don't know. We haven't seen any remarkable buying or selling. These things just kind of sit, and that's kind of where I'm okay with it now. I'm used to it. It's unfortunate. There is a little bit of a shining light. Let's go to our next fund, WDTE. Is it funny that I'm like, oh, WDTE is way better, and it's still down 8.3%? Probably. We see an average cost for our 2 shares of WDTE, $42.18. Current price is $38.61. We're down $7. Oh boy, I'm getting tired of saying we're down. Now, WDTE, check out the chart. It is holding up a lot better. We even found a little bit of resistance here at the low 38, bounced back up to 39, almost 40, and we're trading in between here. If it can hold this, I might buy some in my actual account. That's the thing. I just need more proof of WDTE consistently making the money that I want it to. We can see a low AUM of 74 million, a lot lower, about half some of the others, and I think that dropped even from last video, and a dividend yield of 50%. So a more realistic yield, 50%, is still absolutely insane. A lot of people don't realize. And like, I might look young. I've been investing for like 8 years now. And when I started investing, I've been a dividend investor kind of since the beginning. And I was trading like ETFs that were paying me like a 3% dividend. And I was like, yes, that is going to make me rich. In 150 years, I will have so much money with my 3% returns. And now I'm looking at some 50%, 100%. I mean, MSTY was what, 160% dividend yield? Absolutely insane. Things that would put like old style investors out of business because they wouldn't understand what's going on or how it's even possible. And of course, it comes with an extreme amount of risk. But still, remember, these dividend yields are absolutely insane. So we'll check the last 4 distributions and see if this was hit with the same wave as the other 2 Defiance ETFs of really low dividends. We had 23.4 cents, 23 cents, 14.04 cents. Again, a lower one, and now under 10 cents, just under 10 cents. Now, Percentage-wise, it's not nearly as bad of a drop. We're about a 50% cut compared to a 70% cut with some of the others. So not as bad, but something's in the works with Defiance. I'm okay with it. Again, like I said, when it comes to IWMY, if it can show better price, just holding the price, I'm okay with a lower dividend. I think a lot of investors are, and maybe that's what they're realizing. Maybe they're realizing this isn't working, the methods that they're doing. Someone pointed out in the comments of an experienced investor, like, these funds are only as good as the people writing the options. And that is a phenomenal thing to point out. I never thought about it before in that way. Even as someone writing options myself, it makes a big difference. We're putting all of our trust in those writing the options because they have to be good at it. And you know what? Maybe the Defiance guys just aren't as good. That can be what it comes down to. I don't know. These funds are tricky, but I liked that comment. Thank you for pointing that out. I forget who it was. I apologize. I would have given you a little shout out on here, but I appreciate those. The kind comments are great. You guys are amazing. You build me up so much. I do get some hate comments. And now let me say one thing. Hate comments are okay. Just if I respond, reply back to me. Let's talk about it. If it's just like a comment, you hate my videos and you don't want to watch them again, that's fine with me. I understand. But if it's something like we're going to talk about, let's talk about it. Let's get to a resolution of what you dislike, why you dislike it. Give me more feedback than just saying this is stupid, you use this and it's dumb and you're dumb. And people call me kid all the time. That's okay. It doesn't offend me. It's just like, but explain yourself a little bit. That's my one request. If not, you can leave your hate comments. I don't mind. Sometimes they're funny and I read them to my fiance. Some of them are really mean, but some of them are really funny. You guys are creative. So let's go into our next funds. Let's check out the RoundHill weekly paying dividend ETFs. RDTE down a little bit again. We have 3 shares with an average cost of $44.36 and a current price of $40.99. It was down about 6% last time I checked, so we did take a little bit of a dive. I had a lot of hope for RDTE, but it's just struggling a little bit. I think it needs to find its footing a little more. If it can keep trading in this low 40s to high 42s, that's okay. I don't need it to go back to 46, but I need some consistency here. We've been seeing a pretty average amount of buying and selling. AUM of 183 million. So imagine, RDTE is new. It's newer than WDTE, but still has 100 million more assets under management, which is crazy. Dividend yield of 14.83%. Remember, I get comments all the time. This is not the actual dividend yield just because Moo says it, because we haven't had a full year of dividends. Seeking Alpha and Moo both calculate the yield based off the dividends paid per year. So if you've only had a fund that's been around for 6 months and paid 6 months of dividends, that's going to be half your total dividend yield. Because again, you've made that much money in 6 months, not in a full year. Hopefully that was an easy explanation. RDTE, we got to step it up a little bit. I've given you some time. We'll let you work it out, but let's go. Last couple of dividends. We'll see if Defiance was the only fund to take some crazy hits with their dividends this week. From RDTE, we had 20 cents, 20.5 cents, and then we had 37.5 cents, a huge dividend, and then 20 cents again, and now 21.5 cents. No complaints, consistent. It's on the little bit of a lower end, but I'm not too fussy about it. We can have some lower ones. The market's been all over the place. Some of the other ones are tanking. So if RDTE can recover the NAV a little bit and sit pretty with the 20-cent dividend, 21-cent dividend every week, I'll be all right with it. Let's check out our next fund, probably the most popular, QDTE. QDTE down 6%. We can see our average cost of $42.39, a current price of $39.84. Market value is about $120.52. We did buy an extra share of QDTE with this guy because we had extra money. I think QDTE was the first one I bought an extra share of. Price-wise, though, look at this thing. It is beaten down. I still have a lot of hope for this one. I know the market has been really punching these, and we've never really seen these. I want to talk about that. We've never really seen these in this style of market. It is all over the place. We're not sure between tariff news, whatever you want to say in the guise of politics. If you agree, disagree, who you voted for, I don't care. I really don't. I'm just tracking it. There's more volatility. We're in a big change up of our government. I don't think this would have been significantly different depending on who won. There's always a mix up at the beginning of a new election with what all the changes going on. So don't come for me in the comments and say you voted for this person or you voted for that person, because I'm not talking about politics. I don't care. I do not like politics. I like making money. So that's why we're here. So we can see QDTE, huge AUM of 761.72 million and a dividend yield of 35.5%. More realistic, I believe we've had dividends for a full year now or close to it. Maybe not quite a full year, but but pretty close to it. This is tracking it back to March. So yeah, we're about 2 months out, 1 month out actually. So last 4 dividends from QDTE. Look at the volume, guys. The volume has been picking up like mad. A lot of buying, a big day of selling, but since then, up quite a bit of buying. So last 4 dividends, 18.3 cents, 33.6 cents, 24.6 cents, and 18.8 cents. Not a new low, not on the higher end, but again, not on the low. We had some 16-cent dividends. We've had 20. Lower end, but not bad. Definitely no complaints from QDTE. Bounce back from the NAV. Come on, pick it up a little bit. Keep making us that money, and we'll be happy with it. I know QDTE is one of the fan favorites, so I'll keep holding this one. I still have this in my Roth account, and I haven't even checked on it recently. I really should, but I don't pay that much attention to it because I have like 6 or 7 different accounts. Between all the challenges and whatnot that I do on here, it's hard to track all of them. But this one I'm definitely watching the closest. Let's jump into our next fund that's been holding up a lot better than the rest, XDTE. All right, I wonder how XDTE and QDTE have been performing against each other. I usually hold them kind of close to the same standard. We can see XDTE is only down 4%, 2% less than QDTE. So, but QDTE pays out more in dividends. So which one's doing better? We'll find out at the end with our spreadsheet. I like to surprise myself. I haven't looked at it yet. I filled out the dividends, but I like to wait. So we can see we have 2 shares of XDTE at $52.31, and currently it's only $50.19 each. We're down about $4.24. Not terrible. The chart, a lot better. We did take this dive after interest rate cuts. You know, I've said it a million times. The market dropped. These are market funds. They're ETFs, but they're going to react with how the market reacts, and people selling will always be people selling. We have had some pretty crazy buying these last couple weeks. A lot more green than red, which makes me hopeful for the future. Now, AUM's 372 million, excuse me, and a dividend yield of 23%. The dividend yield is lower, but I think it's higher than 23%. Haven't had a full year of dividends with this guy either, so only time will tell. Last couple of dividends, let's see, we had almost 19 cents. We had a huge 37-cent dividend, and then a 21-cent, and now a 25.5 cents. So still consistent dividends, not even on the lower end, I would say. 25 is kind of flush with what we normally see with XDTE. Some outliers are higher, but maybe even on the higher end. So still, it's kicking out good dividends. I have a hard time finding an argument against XDTE. Maybe you say the yield's lower, it's not returning as good as some of the others, but those consistent dividends, like if you're someone in retirement, okay, here's what I'm gonna say. Not financial advice, it's never financial advice. If I was in retirement, XDTE would be a fund that I could get behind easier. It's less volatile. Yes, we're down 4%, but there's some build back potential as well as consistent dividends and sometimes even growing dividends. If you're not going to retire and you just want to build your portfolio, I still like XDTE. That's how I'm investing. I am by no means am I rich. No. If you guys think I am rich, I am not. I promise you that. I am really working hard to build out my stock portfolio, my retirement accounts, and continue learning with all of you guys here on YouTube. So I really do care about how this money performs. I'm not some rich kid that can just throw money away. When I lose money on these challenges, it does hurt me quite a bit, but it is rare. We usually make money on here, which I am happy to say. But still, XDTE, good fund, probably one of my favorites. Maybe my favorite RoundHill fund. I don't know. It really depends. It depends on the week. Let's be honest. I change it all the time. But all that being said, let's jump into our newest fund from RoundHill, which is YBTC. Our only shining light in a world of darkness. We have YBTC up 5%. We have an average cost of $48.75. Currently, it's trading for $51.18. So yeah. This is the kind of thing people will show online. If you guys don't know this, if you're following any large stock traders or whatnot, they'll have an account just like this. They'll screen grab it, show this one up 5% and say, I know how to pick stocks. They will have 10 stocks deep in the red, but they will show you the one that isn't deep in the red. So remember that when you're watching people on social media. We're also up. It's still after hours trading, so we are up. We jumped up $4 even since I started filming, which is good. Very, very good. It'll change our numbers a little bit, but not too drastically. So I'm happy. We are up with YBTC. I don't know if we've ever even been in the red with YBTC, maybe 1 week. Crazy amount of buying. Wait, let me shrink myself down. I did already shrink myself down. I'm not sure why it's not staying consistent, but crazy week of buying, a lot of buying, which I'm happy to see. Crypto's been all over the place. We had some crazy dips this week with XRP, and it's bounced back. Are you guys interested? I want to know. Are you guys interested in crypto? If you are, leave a comment or like a comment on crypto. Let me know if you guys like XRP. That's really the main one I invest in. But I have quite a bit of crypto. I've debated doing like a crypto account. It wouldn't be anytime soon, but longevity-wise, I think it would be fun. I think it's really different than stocks, and so you guys might not like both. But let me know down below if you'd want me to make one of those eventually. Again, I'm sorry, but it wouldn't be anytime soon. I'm still building out my second channel that's on growth focused, both dividend growth as well as just stock growth, price growth, compared to just incomes on this channel. This one's our ETF channel. So I will link our new channel down below. We're at like 40 something subscribers. I really appreciate it if you guys subscribe over there. Helps me out. We've got a couple videos coming out soon for those. And I think you guys are going to like it over there too if you like this content. If not, no harm done. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. But YBTC. AUM of 127 million, already bigger than WDTE, which is absolutely crazy. Switched to weeklies and everyone started buying this thing. Dividend yield of 47.65%. Now, not all of this is just from weeklies. Remember, it's been shifting a lot since it converted to weeklies, but we do now have 5 dividend payments so far. We'll look at the last 4 here. We had 53, almost 54 cents, and then we had 35 cents, and then we had 38 cents, and then we had 88 cents. I don't know what happened, but they just said, bam. Here's your largest dividend yet. This one is competing with the non-weekly dividend payments, which is crazy. A huge jump for YBTC. This one might be the one. I mean, I want to know, are you guys moving a lot of your money into these ones? Are we buying these new ones yet? It's still risky. I myself have not purchased any in quite a while. I will be adding more money to my Roth, so maybe I will buy some of these, but it's crazy what some of these are doing already. And YBTC, it is performing really, really well. I don't know if it's because crypto investors are interested in this one because it pays weekly, but I want to find out, because if it's going to keep doing this, I will be buying it in my Roth IRA. Now, let's jump to our newer YieldMax ETFs. I'm getting confused because there's so many now. We have LFGY down 2.34%, not terrible. An average cost of $52.98, current price of $51.74. 2 shares held by me, and who knows what this thing is going to do. It's still very new. We've seen 2 distributions, but I want to talk about this one a little bit. So this is the YieldMax Crypto Industry and Tech Portfolio Option Income ETF. I will be putting out more long-form videos on these, probably do some 10K invested, $100 every week. A lot of these videos, you know, on the weeklies, they do well, and it's really cool because the $100 every week is, I'll link the last video I did for the $100 every week because it's really cool to see. All of a sudden, you have a bill that you get every month that's $400. You're paying it with the dividends coming out of this, which is really, really fun, whether it be a car payment or just help on rent. I really like that side of investing, really putting your dividends into something that's going to benefit you immediately, even if you're not reinvesting. That's a lot better than, you know, spending it on something random that you don't need, in my opinion. So I think long-term wise, these ones should do really well between crypto and tech. And if they can capitalize on the strategy that YieldMax has been using for their weeklies, YieldMax has been outperforming everything. If you guys are new to this challenge, new to my channel, ever since the beginning, the YieldMax funds, YMAG and YMAX, have outperformed everything else. And it hasn't really been close. There was a time when some tickers were close to them, but it has consistently been the 2 YieldMax funds on top. So if they can capitalize on that and continue these strategies with these newer funds, I will be buying these all the time. I will buy as much as I can because I really do. I mean, there's kind of, the proof is in the pudding, right? They've made money on those. They've made me money on those. The return has been the best. So why would they not continue that strategy here? That being said, I'm going to watch. I'm very risk averse with some of these things, and I'm not going to be diving in head first, so to speak. So let's check that out, though. We can see 48.45 million, really low AUM. It's got time to grow, and I'm sure it will grow. We'll come back one day and say, oh, it's 50 million AUM. That's so low. Dividend yield, 3%. It's not accurate, again, because that's what it's yielded so far based off the only dividends paid out. We have 2 dividends. We had 74, almost 75 cents, and our last one was 63 cents. 2 solid dividends. Not much to go off of. I don't really have a basis formed yet because there's no highs and no lows, really, but I'm not complaining. Definitely not complaining. We'll find more in those videos when I make them, the longer form stuff on these, because there is a lot of potential here, and I am excited about it. Let's check out our other very, very new YieldMax ETF. All right, GPTY, different than LFGY. We'll explain it. It's down 4%, which is a bummer. Average cost of $50.07 and a current price of $48.01. We have 2 shares purchased already. So GPTY, what's different? Very little trading history. No dividends on here as of yet. I do believe we were paid a dividend. That will show up in our dividend tracker, in our spreadsheet tracker. But GPTY, this is the YieldMax AI and Tech. So the last one was crypto and tech, and this one's AI and tech. So if you like crypto more, buy crypto. If you like the tech one with AI, buy AI. I like that YieldMax is making these options. They're not just clumping it all together. So you can diversify a little bit more with what you'd like. Again, no dividends so far. Low AUM of 15.66 million. That might be a little old. I'm sure it's jumping up now that it is more consistent. Don't know when the first dividend is. No dividend yield on here because it hasn't paid. But I really, really am interested in these funds. Like I said with LFGY, if it can perform like the YMAX and YMAG funds have, I will be buying it. And I'll be transparent with you guys when I do buy it and if I do buy it. Now let's jump into our very, very popular and very, very solid funds from YieldMax. Let's look at YMAX. Oh boy, they're falling. It's down 5.71%. We had an average cost of $17.56. Currently, it's trading at $16.56, $1 per share. But drip is on. So we initially only bought 5 shares, and now we're up to 5.5 shares. So if this thing does bounce back, those shares are going to make a huge difference. That half a share will make a big difference in our dividends moving forward. Now we're going to zoom back out for the full year, and you can see the power of dollar cost averaging. We're buying down, 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 down. The downside is we are reaching new lows. And is this going to be a continual thing for YMAX? I don't know. If I did know, I would tell you guys, but I'd also be a fortune teller, and that's not good. I don't know. Doesn't really seem like my style. So, again, we're buying. It did look like it was bouncing back up a couple weeks ago, and then it sold back off. Market scares, market news, a whole bunch of things happening right now that could be spiking this, and it might just be that YMAX is a fund that's going to lose a little bit of NAV over time. And that's for each person to decide what they want to do, if they like that, if they're okay with it, if they're okay with the returns despite that. We will find out. That is the point of this challenge, I will say. That is the point of this challenge, to see how these return over time. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. If it is looking like it's going to continue this way, I will tell you, because I don't want anyone, I'm not trying to trick anybody. I don't make money when you guys buy these funds. So that's all there is to it. AUM, 764.85 million. Oh, QDTE was 761 million. So YMAX is the largest fund in this account just per AUM. Dividend yield of 50%. Seemed a little bit high. I think maybe it's a little bit offset because of how low the price is going now. And the dividends have stayed pretty consistent. But let's check. Last 4 dividends. We had that weird one where it was 18 cents and then 14 cents. And then we had 11 cents and then 17 cents and now 15 cents. Again, we're seeing it drop a little. We used to get them in the 30s and 40s. We were always down to the 11s. It depends on the week. Remember, this one has a bunch of the YieldMax funds, so they pay out in different cycles, meaning you'll get inconsistent dividend income. I should say it's consistently inconsistent because you never know, if it's going to be consistent with what it normally pays that week of the month. We don't know. That's the best way of putting it. But still, I'm not bummed about this. I do think YMAX has a place in a portfolio if you like the weekly dividend income. I myself do, and you guys know I own YMAG and YMAX, and I've been really impressed with their performance. And I think you guys will too when we jump to our spreadsheet. Let's check out our final weekly dividend ETF, YMAG. All right. We are down 4% with YMAG, $19.18 average cost, $18.40 current price, and we are up half a share. We have 5.5526 shares now available. Every time we get a dividend, it's buying. Very consistent to YMAX's price, actually. Maybe a little bit less all over the place, but still very consistent. We're still dollar cost averaging down every time this goes low. We haven't really reached our previous low yet, but who knows? Hopefully we won't. AUM of 361 million, dividend yield of 41.5%, which is absolutely phenomenal. Very happy with that. I mean, a 40% return, if this thing can hold a little bit of NAV, if it's down 4% in 18 weeks, I'm not too bummed about that as long as those dividends stay consistent. The last 4 dividends, we'll see. We had that, again, a weird one of 31 cents and then 16 cents. Then we had the low one of 5 cents because of the cycle. This one only has 7 funds in it, the Magnificent 7. I can do this. Microsoft, Tesla, NVIDIA, Meta, Google. Oh, man. Amazon. I always forget one. How do I always forget one? Now I'm even forgetting what I had already said. Anyway, I'm one off. Bummer. One day I'll get that. And if I do, the comments are just going to go crazy for me. I just can already tell with that menial task. Still, these videos are going to get longer and longer the more these funds come out. If you guys want me to, I will continue to buy all the new weekly payers because I just will. But so we had that low 5-cent dividend, then we had 10 cents, and this last one's been 19 cents. Not bad at all. Actually, a really, really solid dividend. Let's go, YieldMax. Still showing up, still showing out a little bit. They're showing everybody else we can still make money even in this market. So happy with a lot of these, bummed out with a lot of the others. I will continue to do this challenge, but we still have a lot of data to look at in our dividend tracking spreadsheet, which again is available if you guys would like it. Let's jump right into it. All right, we finally have it updated. GPTY is on the board. It's updated in our positions tab. No dividend yet. No dividend yet for GPTY, but we do have 2 from LFGY already, which is pretty insane. But moving down the line, IWMY, we know it's a record low. 31 cents. It's literally a third of all the dividends from January, which is wild. A new low, by far a new low. I mean, the last time it was 77 cents was the low. We're still below half of that. QQQY, no different. We are more than a third. I mean, this thing was trading again 93 cents in dividends. Then we had 91 cents. Now remember, this is all from 100 shares, $100 invested. I've had people saying that wasn't the dividend that was paid out. You're wrong. This kid doesn't know what he's talking about. There's a lot of things I don't know what I'm talking about with. This challenge is not one of them. This is for $100 invested. It's not per share. I'll specify that. I'll try and specify that more often because it can be confusing, and I understand that. I should have specified it. In my head, it makes sense, but I understand that. You guys aren't in my head. Luckily for yourselves, you're not. We had WDTE. We had 20 cents, which was, I mean, awful. There's no sugarcoating that. WDTE has kind of been hinting that it's dropping, and, you know, we used to have it up in the 50s and 60s, and now we're like, oh, in the 40s, and now in the 20s. We skipped the 30s. I don't know if they just decided to or what, but that's unfortunate. QDTE paid out 56 cents, a little bit on the lower end, but not nearly as bad as it could be in these crazy markets. Would like to see them pick it up, but I'm not gonna, not gonna be too grumpy about it. XDTE, consistent, 51 cents, no complaints, kind of run of the mill, right where we like it, right in the middle. I mean, we like it higher, but for consistency's terms, I'm happy with it being right there in the middle. RDTE, 65 cents. Good, not a new low. Remember, we did buy an extra share of RDTE early in January, so that's why these numbers jumped from these numbers, because it increased by a third. So, not bad. YMAG, $1.05. Kicking it up. We like it when we see it over $1. Really impressive. We had some pretty rough ones with those 5 or 6 cent dividends that come out to 25, 26 cents. So I'm glad that we had another $1 included. We can see it's roughly every 4 weeks, which is so fun. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every 5th week, I guess. So it's kind of consistent, kind of consistently inconsistent. YMAX, 81 cents. Right in the middle again, not lower, not higher. Would like it to be up a little bit, but I'm okay with it. I'm not going to be complaining when it's doing, decently. Then we have YBTC, really solid dividend of $1.76. Like, all right, starting out really strong. It combined the first couple of dividends and said, we're just going to put it all together, and boom, there you go. So if that one keeps paying out that high of a yield, I will be buying it 100%. We have LFG. We've had 2 so far, $1.49 and $1.26 for our $100 invested. Good. I like starting this basis point, seeing exactly how much is paying out. We can tell already from these first ones, they're both over $1, meaning the yield is probably going to be higher than the rest of these if they can keep that pace. If not, we'll see. But still, I'm happy with that. Good pace. Let's jump into our positions tab, see what has made us money, what has lost us money, and what has paid out the most in dividends since we started this challenge 18 weeks ago. I want to jump back into the dashboard and show you guys we had our best month of dividends ever in January from this account. Now, part of that is because we added a few more funds too. So it was $3 more, but we added what, 2 more? I think by that point, it was 2 more funds that actually paid out dividends, even though they were small. Still a really good month, $30.79. We paid out $7.34 since the beginning of February, which is just 1 dividend from each of these, of the 10 that have paid so far. So, good. Now, we now have GPTY plugged in. It's on here. We have everything filtered. I've updated all the prices. We're going to slide all the way over and go over this. I always like looking at the 52-week range. A lot of these, the Defiance funds are always near the bottom. We had QDTE near the bottom. XDTE is doing consistent. RDTE fell off a little bit. YMAG and YMAX, they used to be more up towards the middle. YBTC is doing pretty decent, actually the best in the account just on the 52-week range. And the other two new ones, you know, it's hard to track because they are so new. So looking at this, what does this mean? Well, we have our market return, which is what our initial investment is worth now. And then we have our total return, which is including the dividends. And so we have that in dollar form and in percentages. So I kind of like looking at the percentages more. So we can see that market return wise, just to look at how much we've lost, IWMY is down 13.35%. Absolutely wild. But we are positive by 0.13% over 18 weeks, which is very low return wise, but at least it's green. At least it's in the green. And then we have QQQY taking over again as the biggest loser of the account, down 0.10%. We are down just under 13% market return wise. But again, like I said, the dividends for QQQY cannot hold up to the dividends of IWMY. So although the market return for QQQY is better, more dividends from IWMY make it the better returner so far. Then we have WDTE. And, you know, people knock the Defiance funds, but this one's up 4.3%. It had a crazy drop off in dividends, but the price has been a lot better. And I mean, QDTE is in the fours. XDTE is in the fours. This one, WDTE, is even beating RDTE currently. So 4.3 is not bad, down 5.5%, still positive by 4.3%. QDTE, 5%. 5% in the green. We're down 6.51%. So quite a bit of a drop in the price appreciation section, but again, still green. And then we have XDTE. So QDTE beat out XDTE once again. Those dividends, those hefty dividends are making the difference. XDTE is down 4.74%, but positive 4.77%. That is very confusing. Hopefully you guys followed that. I did not. And then we have RDTE, which again is down price-wise 8.52%, but still positive 1.85%. Now getting into our winners. Let's go. We have YMAG, which is down 5%, still positive by 9.82%. Definitely happy with YMAG. And YMAX coming out as our best performer yet again. 11.31% up despite being 6.46% down. Now, here's the thing, though. If we saw a couple good weeks of green, I think all of these would go back into the green market return-wise or pretty close to it, and then the total return would jump like mad. These are still beaten down. These ones, YMAG and YMAX were at like 16, 17% returned at one point because the market was so hot. So we're still in a losing market, but they're holding up quite well. We haven't seen some crazy loss month over month or even week over week with these funds, which I think is really, really important. Then we have YBTC. Again, this is the only one in the green market return-wise. This one's a little bit outdated. It is up 5% like we saw on Moomoo, but our total return is 8.95% with this fund, which is just absolutely amazing. LFGY down 6.3% market return percent-wise, and then total return only down 3.67%. Needs to bounce back a little bit. Again, it's been rocky. And then we have GPTY. No dividends yet, so we're down 4.17%. Can't really complain. We'll be watching it closely and see what it does. Again, I have a lot of hope for this fund. So we're going to keep sliding over to the side. There's a few more things I want to look at. There's a lot of information. I plug in a lot of the dividend information, and that shows us exactly what we're looking at here. So total dividends received. We've gotten $14 from IWMY, which is crazy. QQQY, $13.25, still really solid. $8 from WDTE. QDTE, $14.62. XDTE, $9.95. RDTE, $13.80. $13.80 is pretty solid. $15.73 from YMAG. $17.30 from YMAX. $6.37 from YBTC. And $2.75 from LFGY. Wow. So our biggest winner that's been consistent, YMAX, of course. And then when IWMY, QDTE, and RDTE, as well as YMAG, are all pretty consistent. Our biggest loser, again, WDTE, at least in terms of what we've had for the entire time. YBTC is coming quickly for WDTE. It's less than $2 away and has been trading significantly less and less in this account. So, wow, I would be not surprised to see it surpass it within the next couple of months. And it would be really cool to see that and see the return difference too. So that concludes our entire breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps me out a ton, and I hope to see you in the next update.